What if I told you there's a simplified method that these expensive marketing agencies, these marketing gurus, these strategists, these influencers, all of them follow so that way they can go from people who don't know about them to raving, loyal clients, ultimately boosting their revenue from zero to millions. Now, everyone follows a simplified method. I'm going to break that down as a very high level of what is marketing your service-based company look like, and how you can do that, get kicked off and running with success. So by the end of this video, you'll know those 4 key methods, how to go about implementing them, and how you can start doing that today. Now, every single marketing strategist out there talks about these, but they really make it overcomplicated and they make it difficult for you to understand so that way they can use the simplified version. But the reality is these 4 key steps is what all marketers use to bring someone who has no idea who you are to then being that loyal, raving fan. So what are those 4 steps? Well, the acronym that you may have heard of is called the AIDA method, A-I-D-A. And I'm going to break down each of those individually so that way it matches perfectly to your service-based business and at least gets you off the ground running without having to pay an arm or a leg. So I'll say this one more time. That acronym AIDA, A-I-D-A, isn't just a random marketing term that's thrown around between marketers, but more or less the ultimate roadmap that is the base blueprint to get you from going from the initial hello to people that you don't know to warm, welcome customers that are coming back and continuing to rave for more. So let's talk about that first A that's part of the AIDA method, and that is awareness. And it sounds simple, but the reality is with awareness is multiple categories of bringing people to become aware of you. So how do you do that? Social media, in-person events, cold outreach. The reality behind most of this is many times it's free. For the exception of paid ads running on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, all the above, you can really make YouTube videos for zero cost, send cold emails, create flyers and newsletters for minimal cost to get people aware of your service. It's not just the features and benefits that you should be presenting to them. Instead of focusing so much on the features and benefits, focus on why they should be working with you. What makes you special? And if you sit down and really think about that, and that's my request to you, write down 3 things that make it special for when a client comes and starts working with you. What separates you from the rest? And when you highlight those key things in the awareness phase is when people start to go and move into the next phase, which is interest. Now that people have caught the scent of what you have that's special, what makes you unique, how do you get them to convert to the next step? Well, the only way to give them a level of interest is if you have a solution to the problem that they have. Now, fun fact, less than 3% of the people that are actively following you, subscribe to you, etc., are actively looking for a solution to the problem that you solve. And of those 3%, it may take them a while to actually want to convert, especially with you. So this is where it's very powerful and strong to capture them, name, email, which is critical in the customer journey funnel phase. I'm sure you've heard funnel and that terminology many of times, but getting their interest to say, okay, I now recognize who they are, and I have interest to want to be able to at least download something they have to offer, listen more into what they have to say, or even go to their website and see what products or services they have to sell. The interest phase is critical, and the language inside the interest phase is where so many marketing agencies, including myself, develop unique storytelling methods that go from emotion to logic that really captivate that individual and make them want to go to the next phase in the AIDA method, which is desire. And desire is arguably one of the hardest ways and the longest method in the customer journey to get them to the final phase. Now, think of it this way. You're looking for a coffee shop near you, and you do a Google search for best coffee near me. Of course, a coffee shop comes up top, giving it high ratings. They have broken down the awareness barrier. Now that you are aware of them, what is the interest? Well, many times it's a review that's put up there where someone says, this is the best coffee I've had in blank town. Now I'm interested. Desire. Well, what do they have? They're only 0.5 miles away. They're close. I have now a desire to go over there. They may have a menu item that I've been looking for. Their reviews are great. I want a coffee right now. They have a solution to the problem I have, which is I need caffeine. So the desire to want to take action right now is very strong. And how do they go about doing that? By letting you know and being extremely relatable to other testimonials, what other people are thinking, and just a clear understanding of what you're going to get. You have this problem, you need it solved now. We're able to solve that problem for you. For coaches and consultants, how many times have you heard the phrase, I need to think about it while on a sales call? Well, the desire just simply isn't there. They've been aware of it, they have interest, but the desire is fading off to the last part of the AIDA method. And when you capitalize on the desire and you use that through great storytelling methods and relating to their story, probing for questions and really pinpointing pain points that they have, that's where the desire immediately increases and you're able to get them to want to move forward to the final action. That is just precisely that. Action. Taking action and purchasing the item, service that you have to offer. And once that person goes through that last A of the AIDA method, there's another difficult step involved, which I'm not trying to confuse you on, but bringing them back to the top of the AIDA method. Think of it here as the coffee analogy I talked about. I wanted good coffee. I found a good coffee place. I had an interest for it. I had a desire because it had great reviews and it was close by. I went in. I saw that it validated my need and my pain point for needing caffeine. I purchased a coffee. Now, how does that company and business get me back into the door? I need to go back to the top of the AIDA method, which is there in many businesses where they fail on getting people back in. Well, one example would be a rewards program, capturing my name and email, letting me know when there's a new pumpkin spice latte that's out or whatever the holiday season beverage is of that time. Those are ways to get me going from AIDA back up to the top to awareness again, remind me of it, giving me interest, desire, and coming back to take action and purchase that next coffee. And this is why so many businesses out there that you see that are thriving have this continual customer journey funnel that has people have interest, awareness, that has a solidified method of bringing people from the very top of the AIDA method to the bottom and continually going through. Now, I know there was a lot of detail behind it, but if you just write down a piece of paper, you already have those 3 things that make you special. So write down, how are you going to bring awareness to your target customer? How are you going to bring an interest to them? What makes your product or service different? How can you map that out and explain it in a way that resonates with them? D for desire. Again, how can you bring that person who's watching your stuff to stay engaged, to let them know that the really only person that can solve the problem right now that they have is you, and taking action, getting that person to purchase, converting them through a sales call, getting them through your front door, having them buy a subscription for a SaaS model, any of the above. When they go through that full method, that is arguably the hardest things to do. Now, each category has its own difficulties, but if you're able to map out those 4 components in the AIDA method, you are on your way to hitting your first big revenue month and continue growing. Now, I talked earlier about target customer and mapping those out. If you click the link below, I have another video which will be talking to you about who is your target customer, who's your target audience, why those 2 are different, you can be hitting, and how you can be hitting both of them with one solid piece of content. Now, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you heard here and the content I'm talking about, I'm going to be posting new content every single week, maybe even more than once a week. So be sure to like, subscribe, the typical jargon that YouTubers say, and I look forward to sharing more information with you on the next one. Thanks and have a fantastic day. Let's get marketing your business.